This debut collection is a haunting testament to the human cost of war, offering a visceral exploration of grief, injustice, and survival through 48 poems that literally weigh a person's body. Batool Abu Akleen, a 20-year-old Palestinian poet born and raised in Gaza, crafts a narrative that dissects the brutality of genocide with poetic precision. Each poem represents a kilogram of body weight, and as the pages turn, the book becomes thinner, a metaphor for the fragility of life in the face of violence. The final poem, a stark indictment of systemic cruelty, reads, "I die without a voice. He skins me, flesh from bones, cuts me into 48 pieces, distributes the parts in blue plastic bags, throws them to the four corners." Unlike the Muses, who buried Orpheus's dismembered limbs, the poem ends with a paramedic guessing which bag contains the poet's flesh. Written between 2023 and 2025, Abu Akleen's work disassembles and reassembles the body to interrogate injustice, death, and grief. She creates a world where absurdity and reality coexist, like an ice cream man crying out "corpses for sale" while noting that no grave buys them, or a death planning a birthday party and choosing an arm the missile hadn't shattered. Abu Akleen self-translated 38 of the 48 poems, describing the process as making peace with death. Writing in Arabic felt torn apart without anyone there to recollect it. The book not only bridges Arabic and English linguistically, but also highlights Gaza's rich cultural history through historical photographs from 1863 and 1908, plus a 2022 discovery of a 5th-century Byzantine mosaic. Throughout, Abu Akleen transforms witness details into fragile interpretations. The broken plates they make homes for their younger siblings, the moment war became a school, and the ring finger I lend to the woman who lost her hand and her husband. She notes that poetry gives a form to feelings in order to understand them, and these poems protest against atrocities with uncompromising clarity and tenderness. But here's where it gets controversial. Can art truly capture the enormity of war without being overwhelmed by it? And what does it mean to make peace with death when the act of writing itself is a form of resistance? These questions linger as we read. Heather Christle's Paper Crown is a quirky celebration of everyday absurdity, blending humor with brutal insights. One poem opens with the line, "I own like 6 nail clippers, and honestly can't remember ever buying even one." Christle's poems excel at forging unlikely connections, as seen in How Much for the Swan Boat, where the word penny sparks virtuosic free associations, from money to Penelope's wait for Odysseus to relentless self-questioning. This slim volume punches above its weight in range and scope. From a smoothie blender to board meeting etiquette, the prefix F to an advent calendar, and everything else becoming collage under Christle's deft touch. Writing's more like rolling a 1-pound rock around the yard, if you're into that kind of thing. While some poems may overgeneralize, the whole is a striking tribute to wrist and beauty. I want this world to remain with me, this holy tumult. And this is the part most people miss. How Christle's lightness doesn't dilute the gravity of her observations, but amplifies them. Does humor ever truly capture the weight of life's absurdities? That's a question left hanging after each poem. Simon Armitage's New Cemetery begins with an ironic line. "Reader, today, the poet has gone to his shed. He has his themes." This opening introduces a sustained reflection on a cemetery built during the pandemic in his neighborhood. Armitage's signature Yorkshire vernacular brings precise locality and lightheartedness to death and grief. The dirty clouds over Farnley Tiaz, or the guitar-shaped gravestone with adjustable knobs for volume and tone? Framed by moth names? Armitage explores the tension between natural and constructed habitats, using varied tercets, spare, rhymed, or free-flowing, to create an uncomfortable fluctuating rhythm. The most memorable poems address his father's death. I should be sowing your ashes on Puddle Hill, or the bowling green, or the cricket field, or across the stage of the village hall, structured like burial plots. These poems tap into deeply personal material while reflecting Armitage's public persona. What would you say if your father's ashes were scattered across a cricket field? That's the kind of question Armitage leaves us with. Steve Malmude's Red Carpet, edited by Miles Champion, showcases 65 years of intransigent poetics, marked by meticulous craft and a down-to-earth perspective. Reading Malmude is like entering sideways into an encyclopedia of American history through the lens of working-class lives. Moments like a hard hat kneeling in front of a can of paint. Nimble, observant, and satirical, his vast canvas captures urban and suburban landscapes overshadowed by post-war inequality and climate change. Spring is no longer Henry David Thoreau's favorite season. As Malmude ages, his lines grow shorter and more philosophical. Poetry as a daunt to stare at in secret. This long-overdue collection celebrates a mercurial, sharp-edged poet whose tongue touches the blade of song and reveals a new dimension to the New York school. But here's where it gets controversial. Can poetry, with its fragmented, often abstract forms, truly address the complexities of modern life? Or is it just another way of looking at the world? Kit Fan's latest poetry collection, The Ink Cloud Reader, is now available https:/guardianbookshop.com/The Ink Cloud Reader 780171314. A reference editorial link. Subscribe for article intent.